Good morning students, welcome to you all 11th standard accountancy. In this video, we go and discuss unit 6 subsidiary books 1 topic. What is the meaning of subsidiary books? Types of subsidiary books. So types of subsidiary books: transactions classified into two categories: cash transaction and credit transactions. In credit transaction, we prepare the 6 books: purchase book, purchase return book, sales book, sales returns book, bills received book, bills payable book and journal proper. So let's see the meaning first. So what is meant by subsidiary books? So introduction: business entities carry on transaction of different nature. So the types of transaction depend on the nature of the business and the management policy. So many transactions may be of repetitive type, so that is similar nature of transaction take place repeatedly in business entity. So therefore the transaction can be classified under group conveniently according to their nature. Generally the transactions are two types: cash transaction and non-cash transactions, non-cash credit basis. So cash receipts and payments can be grouped in one category and credit transactions in another category. So thus journal may be subdivided in such way that a separate book is used for each category or group transactions which are repetitive and sufficiently large in number. So each subdivision of the book is a special journal and the book of primary record or a book of primary entry or subsidiary book. So journal entries are not passed when records are made in subsidiary books. When journal is the only book of prime entry, if it is possible for only one bookkeeper to enter the transaction in it at a time. So in a case, so business entities have a large volume of transactions, so one person cannot do all the recording work him by himself. So there is need for subdivision of bookkeeping work leading to the subdivision of the journal in the parts of subsidiary journals. Okay, so let's see the meaning now. So what is meant by subsidiary books? So subsidiary books are subdivision of journal in each of which transaction of similar nature are recorded. So these are the books of prime entry. So instead of recording in one journal, the transaction recorded in the number of prescribed books, primary books. So this is called the subsidiary books. Next one, types of subsidiary books. So the number of subsidiary books may vary according to the requirements of each business. So based on the nature of business and the volume of transaction, the following subsidiary books are maintained. So transactions are classified into two categories: cash transaction and credit transactions. So cash transactions in cash book and the credit transaction. Cash transaction report the cash books. So three cash book: single column cash book and double column cash book and triple column cash book and a petty cash book. In the cash transaction, only the cash transaction only recorded in the cash book. So the cash book is classified into four categories: single column cash book, double column cash book, triple column cash book and a petty cash book. In credit transactions, all the credit transaction only recorded in the credit transaction. So purchase book, what are the books are prepared in credit transactions? So purchase book and purchase return book, sales return book, bills receivable book, bills payable book and journal proper. So subsidiary book before entering, for entering the cash transactions in cash book. Subsidiary book special journal for entering non-cash transaction. So purchase book or purchase journal for recording only the credit purchase of goods which are trader deals. So second one, sales book or sales journal for recording only credit sales of goods dealt in by the trader. So only credit transactions are recorded in the sales book. The next one, purchase return or return outward book. So for recording return of goods purchased by the trader, for which no cash is immediately received. The next book, sales return book or return inward book. So for recording the goods returned by the customer, for which no cash is immediately paid. Next one, bills receivable, to record the bills drawn or promissory notes received. The next one, bills payable book, to records bill accepted or promissory notes given. The next, finally, journal proper. So what is a journal proper? The journal or all purpose journal to record the transaction which are not do not find a place in the above 7 subsidiary books. So that transactions are recorded in the journal proper. So these are the types of subsidiary books. Next one, advantages of subsidiary books. So what are the advantages for maintaining the subsidiary books can be summarized as under. First one, proper and systematic record of business transaction. Second point, convenient posting, division of work, efficiency, help in decision making, prevents errors and faults, availability of requisite information at a glance, detailed information available. Next point, saving in time, and last point, labor of posting is reduced. First point, proper and systematic record of business transactions. It is the main advantages in subsidiary books 1. So all the business transactions are classified under group conveniently as cash transaction and non-cash transactions. So which are further classified into credit purchase, credit sales, returns, sales return and purchase return, etc. So as separate books are used for each type of transaction. So individual transactions are properly and systematically recorded in the subsidiary book. Second point, convenient posting. So it helps to the convenient posting. So all the transactions of particular nature are recorded at one place. So that is in one of the subsidiary books. For example, all the credit purchase books are recorded in the purchase book. All the credit sales are recorded in the sales book. All the purchase return recorded in the purchase return book, and then sales return in sales return book. So all transactions particularly recorded in the one separate book. So it facilitates posting to the purchase account and sales account and concerned personal account. The next point, division of work. So it is the important advantages of subsidiary book. As a journal is subdivided, the work will be subdivided and different persons can work on different books at the same time, and the work can be speedily completed. The work can be finished fast. The next one, efficiency. The subdivision of work gives the advantages of specialization. When the same work is done a person repeatedly, by the person becomes efficient in handling. The person become very efficient person. So thus specialization leads to efficiency in accounting work. Next point, help in decision making. So subsidiary books are provide complete details about every type of transaction separately. So hence the management can use the information as the basis deciding in future actions. For example, the information regarding sales return book from the sales return book will enable the management to analyze the causes of our sales returns, what purpose the sales return is going on, so and to adopt effective measures to remove deficiencies. The next one, prevent errors and frauds. So internal check becomes more effective as the work can be divided into such a manner so that work of one person is automatically checked by another person. So one work finished means it is checked by the another person. So with the use of internal check, the possibility of occurrence of errors or fraud may be avoided or minimized. The next point, availability of request information at glance. So when all the transactions are recorded in the journal entries in journal, so it is difficult to find out, locate the information about the particular item. So if you want to find out one information, so it is very difficult to find out because all the transactions are entered in the one journal. So when subsidiary books are maintained, here the details about a particular type of transaction can be obtained from subsidiary books. So the maintenance of subsidiary books helps in obtaining the necessary of information at a glance. The next point, detailed information available. So all the transactions relating to the particular item are entered in the subsidiary book. So for example, all the purchase book are entered in credit purchase are entered in the purchase book. All the credit sales are entered in the credit sales book. So it gives detailed information. So it is easy to arrive at monthly or quarterly totals. Next point, saving time. It is another advantages of subsidy books. As there are many subsidy books, work of entering can be done simultaneously many persons. So there is save time and accounting work can be completed quickly. The last advantages is labor of posting is reduced. So labor of posting is reduced as posting is made in periodical totals to the impersonal account, for example purchase account. So next one, purchase book. So what is meant by purchase book? So purchase book is subsidy book in which only credit purchase of goods are recorded. So when business want to know the information about the credit purchase of goods at a glance, the information can be made available if purchase of goods on credit or separately recorded. So this is the format of purchase book. First column, date column. Second column, particulars, name of the suppliers and the details of goods purchased. The next one, invoice number, invoice number and LF, ledger folio, and last column, amount. Okay, so in the date column, the date of purchase of goods on credit is recorded, and second column, particulars. So in this column, the name of the supplier from whom goods have purchased and the details of goods purchased are given. So it contains the name, quantity, quality and rate of goods are purchased, the trade discount and any trade discount given. So trade discount and any other specification and specialist of goods are recorded in this column. The next one, ledger folio and the invoice number. So invoice number is the statement prepared by the seller of goods. So it contains details about the goods, its price and other expenses incurred. So the invoice number is entered in the invoice column. The next one, ledger folio. So the page number of the ledger in which supplier account is recorded in this column. So purchase goods must be posted to the personal account of supplier. So purchase book contains the page number of supplier's account in the ledger. So it helps in the posting and also in checking the records. Next, amount column. So in amount column is divided into two parts. So that is details and the total. The details column is used to record the amount of various individual items purchased from a particular supplier. Then amount trade discount is allowed is deducted. So this column is used for adjustment, for additions and subtractions. The next one, last column, total amount column. The net amount payable to the supplier of goods is recorded in the total amount column. Okay. So I hope you all understood this topic. We will see the next section. Thank you.